Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy is brought to you in part by Tom's Place. For the finest in men's fashion, Tom's Place will suit you. Located in Toronto at 190 Baldwin Street in the heart of Kensington Market. Or visit toms-place.com. This is Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy. Listen, laugh, and learn.
What is the most widely grown crop, I didn't say crap, I said crop, in the world?
One sniff is all it takes. Hi, I'm Nick.
And I'm Roy. And this week, we scoured the internet to find out these totally useless things for you.
Plus, in our mailbag section, a listener wants us to help her with an argument she's having with her sister. Yeah, okay, sure. And in the news, they want her to take it off because she takes it off.
Totally useless information. It's everything you never needed to know.
Your weekly sweet and savory facts of totally useless information with Nick and Roy. Come and get it!
Wow. Boy, that'll clear your sinuses. Welcome to another episode. Thank you very much for joining us. Roy is with me. Roy is down in the, I really feel bad for Roy. He's down in the warm climes of Florida.
It's not warm, Nick. You see, I have a jacket on. I'm literally freezing. This morning it was 50s again. Cold snap down here for probably well over a month now. Wow. Where we're actually having some temperatures in, I think 36 was a low temperature. That's very low for us.
Yeah, okay. I'm sorry, will you finish complaining about how cold it is? What are you like? You're not like a lizard that's falling out of the trees in Florida, because usually that's what happens. When it gets cold, the lizards fall out of the trees.
Mm-hmm. In Canada, the people fall out of the trees.
That's right, they do. The well, yes, in fact, I am up in Toronto, Canada, and also in Canada, but just a few kilometers, a few clicks away, as we like to say, is our food expert, food influencer, Joey Roselli. Hi, Joey. Welcome.
Thanks for having me, Nick.
Can we call you Joe?
Wait a minute.
What?
What? You said that we were going to talk about some woman taking her clothes off, and now we brought this guy Joey in here.
No. I said,
what are we doing here?
I said in the news. I should have said in the nude. In the news, they want her to take it.
So later on, we're going to talk about that. I got you now. Okay, right. So we got Joey here. Huh?
They want her to take it off because she takes it off. That's the tease for the news. So Joey and I, full disclosure, Joey and I used to work together. He used to work at Newstalk 1010, one of our stations on the iHeart network that you will find totally useless information with Nick and Roy. And so he decided to do something different. He wanted to branch out, and he went to Montreal. So that's where we find Joey today. So Joey, welcome. And what are you doing these days? What are you up to?
I'm dissecting what's inside a lot of our everyday food that we're consuming on an everyday basis.
Dissecting.
Oh, wow. We get the good guests, Nick.
Well, we do.
You know?
Joey is going to dissect. I mean, Joe, just full disclosure as well. They tried to dissect us, but they didn't find anything. So we're okay.
No,
we're okay.
Tried to dissect Nick's head and found nothing.
Well, somebody asked me if we use artificial intelligence on this show like most of the podcasts do, and I said no, absolutely not. On this program, there's no intelligence whatsoever, artificial or otherwise. But thanks for asking. Okay, Joey, that went over like a lead balloon. That went over like a cup full of Coca-Cola. So okay, give us an example of one of the foods that you dissect to help people out with more information.
And when I say dissect, I don't mean science lab opening up a frog's heart. Oh. Dissect.
Oh, so then what do you mean?
I mean more an analysis, visualization of the data that's found in, for example, a can of Coca-Cola.
Okay.
So what I do is all the data that's given to us or to anybody that has access to public information, whether that's on their website, on the can itself, on the nutritional facts label, or in the ingredients list, I'll present that data to you in a visually appealing form.
Ah.
Go ahead. So now tell us about one of these crazy things. Tell us.
Cocoa. So
interested. You hooked us now.
Any soda pop, doesn't matter whether it's whatever name brand you want, whether it's a cola, whether it's a lemon lime drink like Sprite or 7-Up. It doesn't matter what the brand is. You're talking about any soda in general. Is that right?
Yeah, and we'll save the majority of them, or the majority of the big guys. You
Okay.
know, and one of the biggest culprits is actually Mountain Dew, and that's because it comes at a whopping 77 grams of sugar in a standard, I believe, 12-ounce bottle or 16-ounce bottle.
77 grams of sugar.
Yeah, and that's added
I'm
sugar.
a diabetic, so that would kill me.
Absolutely.
That would do me in.
I'll send
Yeah.
you a case next week.
And you know what? It's besides the sugar component or the sugar factor, it's specifically looking at Mountain Dew.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the color of Mountain Dew. It's a neon yellow or a bright green, like a highlighter color, and you won't find a color like that anywhere in nature. So I like to aim for whole and real and natural foods or stuff to ingest and consume, and something like Mountain Dew is the complete opposite of that.
Why didn't they just call it Chernobyl?
That's right. Chernobyl. Hi. I'm Nick and Roy for cool, refreshing Chernobyl drink.
Yeah, light up your life. Not to mention your intestines.
You got it. And the
Joey,
same
what do you
goes-
think about aspartame?
Roy, it's a great question. I get asked that a lot when it comes to aspartame, including other artificial sweeteners. I'm not
They're
totally
super
against
gross.
them, but they have their time and place. I'm not a big fan of consuming it on the daily, just because it's, again, to me, it's just something unnatural. It's made in a lab. There are traces and it does contain small elements of quote unquote nature or natural elements. However, we'll say this in this right context: for someone who is drinking a can of Coca-Cola every single day and is trying to lose weight or trying to make a better shift, and they're going to Diet Coca-Cola, great start.
Okay.
Because you're consuming less sugar, you're consuming less calories. So fantastic start from that perspective. Now, someone that consumes something every single day like me, water or electrolytes or we'll say something a little more on the healthier side, quote unquote, I wouldn't advise to drink it every single day. That's my opinion, solely because it's not something that's completely natural.
Yeah, any opinion that we express here in this program is our opinion, and we don't care what you think. I think that's the disclaimer, right? Yeah.
I just want everyone listening to know that I consume probably 3 liters of diet soda a day.
A day?
Because I'm diabetic, it's my only vice.
Right.
It tastes sweet. It gives
Okay.
you that feeling of,
Right.
you're acknowledging that you want something that tastes sweet. So
That's
it
the
just,
context. It's perfect.
Okay, yeah, it's perfect. Of course, you're pre-embalming yourself before you go, but okay, I get
I
it.
like
That's
to
fine.
think I'm perfect. I truly like to think that. I'm as perfect as a man could be. But
Yeah, that's what all the ladies say after $50. Okay, so
look at that. Nick dates himself at $50. What do you get for $50 now?
I'm dating myself because nobody else will. Okay. So now, okay. Before we go any further with any more food, so tell us what you studied and how you got into all of this and analyzing and dissecting foods. Like, what is it that got you inspired to do this kind of stuff?
Yeah, great question. I am in the field of nutrition, so I am studying nutrition as we speak.
Okay.
And it really started from my own journey, my we'll say my downfall or my rock bottom. I was suffering with severe acne for a very long time, and I never went to the root cause. I always wanted to get rid of it topically or surface level, we're speaking.
Yeah.
And going down to the root cause is really looking back at what I'm eating and consuming on a daily basis. And it's, holy cats, I am consuming a can of Nestea every single day. I'm consuming a half a pack of Oreo cookies. I am eating a whole bag of Doritos chips. So a lot of my unhealthy habits or health issues that I wasn't comfortable with did come from my eating habits.
I mean, it all comes down to whether it's a medical condition, like say Roy's diabetic, as he mentioned, and some people who have a weight problem. What I weigh. Okay, the doctor says your weight is based on your height. So what I weigh, I should be about 7'9", and I'm not. So I got to work on that. And exercise, of course, is one of the key things. And also your diet, what you don't eat, what you don't put in your body is key. And when you go shopping, I think that's where it all starts. If you don't if you don't put the garbage stuff in your shopping cart, then you won't have it at home. You won't be tempted to consume it.
One of the things that concerned me, Nick, is that Joey said that he is studying for nutrition right now.
Right.
When I think he should actually be paying attention to the show. don't you?
No, he didn't mean like right now, this very moment. Although
This guy he's multitasking.
But he's a great multitasker because, as I mentioned, we worked together, and he was a producer for a weekend morning show. Not only was he doing that, he was also booking the guests for the next show. He is a multitasker, so don't take anything away from that. So okay, so we talked about sodas.
So Oreo double stuff. I mean, they got to be really bad for you. They taste so great,
I'm sorry, Joey, I'm disappointed in you because you said you only consume half a package of Oreos. What's the matter with you, man?
Oh, Nick, you should have seen me in my first couple of years of university. We were going probably a box and a half.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So based on your information so far, as you listen,
Oreos or condoms? Which one?
Yeah, you're both screwed in either way.
You said you were at college. I thought maybe. I didn't know if he made a mistake there, Nick. Me too.
So now you talk about electrolytes, and I think one of the drinks that people think electrolytes if you're exercising or running track or whatever it is, because that's what I do every other Saturday. I run track.
Nice.
I follow a train. So Gatorade. What is your opinion on Gatorade? I mean, you think it's really good for you because it gives you electrolytes. So tell us scoop. What's the scoop on Gatorade?
Right. It has its benefits. Don't get me wrong. The argument that most people will come up with is that Gatorade is fine to be consumed because it replenishes you with both sodium, potassium, calcium, as well as glycogen, which is the sugar content found in Gatorade.
Okay.
However, the average person doesn't need that much added sugar after running track, for example, like you said, Nick, or after a day's work, or even throughout their day of school or day of work. Maybe reduce the sugar, you'll be fine. It's a better for you option. For the pro athlete, they might need that replenishment of sugar found in Gatorade. But the average and everyday person does not need that much sugar in one bottle. And, thinking back to my teen years, even my early 20s, I was gulping 2 Gatorades a day thinking, it's just so healthy and replenishing everything. I am, but I'm also taking a lot of quote unquote negative stuff with it, which, added sugars.
You won't see the engineer that slams the Nissan Rogue's door 13,920 times. Or the corrosive chamber that simulates 15 years of life in 5 months. Or the Rogue heat-baked for over 300 combined hours. What you will see is a vehicle that can take punch after punch and keep rolling. Nissan. #1 in new vehicle quality among mainstream brands by J.D. Power. We put it through the worst, so you get its best. For J.D. Power 2025 U.S. Initial Quality Study Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Awards based on 2025 model year. Newer models may be shown.
You're
listening. Keep this show on the up and up.
Well, we will, as you're listening to Totally Useless Information with Nick
so
and Roy.
So to speak.
Our special guest is Joey Roselli. Do you have a title? What is your title? Joey Roselli?
Yeah, I'm usually known as Joey Wellness.
Joey Wellness, okay.
Joey Wellness.
I like that. It's pretty cool.
Isn't it funny how, as you progress through life, drinks become important? Like he was younger, drinking 2 Gatorades a day. You're on 2 Ensure at this point.
Yes, I am. Absolutely. Yeah, and by the way, a case is coming your way because Roy just celebrated a birthday recently. So we have to speak slower and louder. So Gatorade, now I looked back because I knew we were going to talk about Gatorade. So I looked back at one of our files in our archives because we have over 200 episodes of Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy. Now Gatorade was invented in 1965, and the reason why it was invented is because the Florida Gators football head coach.
My son was a Gator. You know, Nick, that I found out that the reason why they invented it was we had it on the show. But remember I told you that when I was playing like competitive tennis, we would take these little they were like little square tablets. They had sugar and salt in them, and they were made for sports. In Germany, in Europe, they would do that a lot. And so the guy at the University of Florida said, maybe I can make this a little better. We'll put some sugar, we'll put some salt, we'll put some this, we'll put some minerals, we'll put some, and he came up with Gatorade. But it really was those salt and sugar tablets that made him configure that.
Well, there you go. And also they found that the athletes, after running, and training, they weren't peeing as much. And they figured, wait, something's not right here. So because you're peeing less, you drink Gatorade. But that's not what we're recommending.
I could have solved that for them. I could have told them, get to 61 and try sleeping through the
night. That's true. That's true. Another thing that I was doing some research on our own show, and that is we found out that ketchup a long, long time ago used to be considered to be medicine. They used to
No way.
give it. Yeah, they used to give it to people. Right? See, you listen, laugh, and learn here, Joey. On this show, it's not just useful information; it's also useless information. So, many years ago, they determined the properties of tomatoes and everything else at that time was considered to be medicinal. However, you might have a different take on ketchup today.
Yes, ketchup today is definitely not medicinal.
Oh, it's not.
Yeah.
Okay. No. Okay.
Sugar and
Yeah, unfortunately, I believe the second or third ingredient in Heinz tomato ketchup is high fructose corn syrup.
corn syrup, the worst.
Yeah, it is the worst of the worst sweeteners, that's for sure. And it's crazy to me because you can buy so many other ketchups that don't contain added sugar, not even to begin with high fructose corn syrup, but no added sugar, and it tastes pure. You taste the real tomato in it. Right? There's a company called Primal Kitchen. They make it, I believe it's in a glass bottle, and it's just 2 or 3 or 4 straightforward ingredients, no added sugars, no added sweeteners, and it tastes phenomenal. It tastes like ketchup should taste like.
Joey, 1 can of tomato paste and 1 can of tomato puree mixed with some Worcestershire sauce. Throw a couple of packets of aspartame in there, and you have diabetic ketchup. Put salt, pepper,
You're right.
a little bit. Yeah, and you have diabetic ketchup. I mean, it's so simple and cheap to do. I've figured out a lot of things, since I'm a diabetic,
for sure. It's
Yeah.
You start to discover so many products are containing so much added sugar, and you start to question, like, why? What's the point of it? I don't even know why.
Yeah, I'm sweet enough. This is nuts. Pistachios, that's a pun, by the way.
Oh.
Pistachios are fruit.
What?
They're part of the drupe, I believe that's drope family, which is a soft-shelled nut type thing, is considered a fruit. So pistachios are actually fruit, not nuts.
So you can consume as many pistachio nuts as possible because you're getting your intake of fruits they're recommending, right? Is that what you're telling me?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It seems exactly like that.
Okay.
So soft nuts are considered fruits. So that would mean that
You're listening to Totally.
your testicles are fruit.
I'll stay silent on
Just
this one.
saying.
Listen.
Somebody has to think of these things.
Well, that's why. And Totally use this information with Nick and Roy. Well, a couple of episodes ago, we discovered that I call it the fact one hung low, and they realized that left-handed people, the left testicle goes a little lower than the one on the right. So depending on which handedness you are, that's where the sort of your testicle sort of hangs.
Nick has a ball talking about it, but
That's right.
I got one for you, Joey. Joey, what do you think the first food ever eaten in space was?
It's got to be Tang.
Can I take a guess?
Tang. Is it Tang?
Yeah, take a guess.
I'm going to say Doritos chip.
No, that would have been hard to get through the glass front of the. No,
That's right.
actually, it was applesauce.
What?
It was put in a plastic pouch with a straw that would fit through, and then they squeezed it. And Neil Armstrong ate a bunch of it while on board. Applesauce. He loved it. So it was applesauce.
Wow.
And then, of course, they got better and better at making purees and
Right.
so. Yeah.
By the way,
way.
Cool.
That's excellent. You talked about how they can get the Dorito chip through the helmet. We found out through this show, because I learn lots when I do the show too. Totally use this information with Nick and Ray.
So am I.
That astronauts, how they scratch their nose? Well,
No.
they can't, right? Because the helmet, when they're on a spacewalk, they scratch their nose by taking a piece of Velcro and putting it right to the left of the helmet, and they just turn their nose and scratch up
way.
against the Velcro. There you go.
I got to go to space
Isn't
one
that
day.
great? Velcro is awesome, man. Like, look in your car where your seatbelt goes. They put Velcro on all the plastic parts there, so if the seatbelt thing hits it, it doesn't make a noise and annoy the
That's
living hell out of you.
true.
That's right.
Velcro is like the coolest thing ever. I use it all the time.
Can I go back to the
I don't go to bed. I don't go to bed without it, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. And then when it rips it apart, it has that sort of like really ear-piercing sound to it. That's like, oh my gosh.
I love it, Nick.
And he
Love
thought
it.
Roy
that
thought
and stepping on bubble wrap. You
Oh,
can't
same
not
here.
do it.
and Roy
Same here.
thought it was his 61-year-old bones that were cracking.
So, Joey, you're dissecting this stuff, and you're now. This is a true question. This is a real. I joke around all the time, but I love when they say things like broccoli has more protein than steak. per
Ah.
calorie. They go per calorie. Well, yeah, per calorie, but one bite of steak has, let's say, 20, 30 calories,
You got
whereas an entire head of broccoli has 20 calories.
You got
So
it.
in order to eat what you would get from a steak, you'd have to eat like 8 heads of broccoli. And this annoys me because it's disingenuous. How do you feel?
The first time I heard that information was from a vegan, actually. And she told me, she's like, why would you eat a steak? There's more protein in a broccoli. And I was shocked the first time I heard that. I said, you're kidding. I went home, I did my research, and I said, yeah, there's more protein for 6 cups of broccoli. Who on earth is eating 6 cups?
Yeah, you
That's
know,
a lot of broccoli.
and you know what there are similarities between broccoli and steak, and that has nothing to do with the protein value. The amount of methane gas that's expelled after you've eaten all that stuff is the
Yeah,
same.
like if Nick ate 6 cups of broccoli, even though we're on Zoom, we would still know what's happening.
Exactly. Let me go
I
back.
don't want to see it. I don't want to hear it.
Let me go back to the Heinz ketchup for just a second because I did some investigating. So I took a sort of like a speedometer, like one of those speed guns that the cops use. I wanted to find out exactly how fast ketchup comes out of the bottle because for years and years and years, the great commercial for Heinz was how slow it comes out. And I think it was the Carly Simon song, Anticipation. That's right. Anticipation was the song that they used. And it was a slow oozing of the ketchup. Well, I put a speed gun to it, and the speed of a Heinz ketchup squirt is 0.028 miles per hour.
No way.
Yeah. There you go.
How far can it go?
Well,
That'd be a
I
good
guess
test.
gravity would take it and it would get there with probably have a conversation with a snail.
yeah. Race ya.
Yeah, how you doing, ketchup?
That's right.
Snail.
And he never. The
And the
ironic.
ketchup would say, look at that escargot.
Ketchup, I'm going as fast as I can. Joey Roselli, thank you very much for joining us on Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy. We'll talk again soon.
Nick and Roy, thank you
Yeah,
so
we
much.
definitely want to have you back on, and we'll have a load of questions for you so that listeners, I'm sure we're going to get loads of feedback from listeners, and we will pass that on to you as well.
What website would they go to? How do they get in touch with you?
They can simply go to joeywellness.com. There's a contact page there. They can also email me at joey@joeywellness.com. Find me on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. They can message me, and we'll have a nice conversation and have some apricots together. Ready to tackle them.
Thanks, Joey.
Thanks, guys.
You're listening to Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy. Nick and Roy for Tom's Place. Here comes the groom. Are you looking forward to a wedding on your calendar?
If you're the lucky groom, Tom is your friend and the best man to help you dress the entire wedding party for that special day, whether it's formal or informal, a destination wedding, traditional or contemporary, with tailored suits or classic tuxedos.
And with all the accessories, why rent a tux when it's so affordable to buy a classic that will take you to events for years to come?
If you're the father of the bride or the groom or a special guest who needs an elegant new suit or tuxedo, Tom is the wedding wardrobe meister who will help you get ready for the spotlight and camera flashes of that special day.
Find out more at Tom's Place at 190 Baldwin Street in Kensington Market. No one can save you more or dress you better than their wedding specialists.
Enter to win the wonderful wedding contest at toms-place.com. That's Toms-Place. Toms with an S. Toms-place.com to win a $500 credit for your wedding party outfits.
Or visit our website, nickandroy.com, and click on the Tom's Place logo. Tom's Place will suit you. Let them show you how.
You won't see the engineer that slams the Nissan Rogue's door 13,920 times. Or the corrosive chamber that simulates 15 years of life in 5 months. Or the Rogue heat-baked for over 300 combined hours. What you will see is a vehicle that can take punch after punch and keep rolling. Nissan, #1 in new vehicle quality among mainstream brands by J.D. Power. We put it through the worst, so you get its best. For J.D. Power 2025 U.S. Initial Quality Study Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Awards based on 2025 model year. Newer models may be shown.
You're listening to Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy.
Today's history.
love that jingle.
All right.
All right. What do you got?
Yeah. History, the 7 wonders of the world. We know the 7 wonders of the world. Everybody's heard that.
Yes.
But who compiled that list?
I wonder.
It was very smooth.
Thank you.
It was the Greeks. The Greeks were so intellectual that they started compiling things, and they said, well, let's compile what the most incredible things were. So they did the 7 wonders of the world. There is only one of the 7 wonders that is still around, able to touch and see, and that is the Great Pyramids of Giza.
Oh,
All the other 6 are gone.
amazing. That's pretty cool. Excellent. Okay.
Mhm.
So I know we're doing history, but it sounds like it's a sex topic, but it's not. Have you ever heard
I
of
like it already.
Have you ever heard of the Prince Albert piercing?
Oh, yes. A Prince Albert on the old head of the family.
Yes, sir. So I was watching this wonderful HBO program called 6 Feet Under. Maybe you watched it. And so in one of the episodes, they had one of the people in there that passed away, and when they were taking care of the body and whatever, they noticed that he had a Prince Albert. I'm like, what the heck is a Prince Albert? So I had to find out. How did the pierce? But you've heard of the Prince Albert, but you don't know how it got its name, do you?
No, I'm interested now to know that.
The piercing got its name from a rumor that circulated claiming that Prince Albert, shock, the husband of Queen Victoria, got his penis pierced in his 20s. Historians have never been able to confirm this, however, but the rumor persisted. Through the centuries, didn't matter, they just said this is what they believed. Some have suggested that the prince may have suffered a form of Peyronie's disease, which is a condition that causes painful curved erections, and that the piercing is an attempt to straighten the penis. The Prince
Well,
Albert,
you can hang stuff from it to straighten the penis out. Hang some weight to straighten it out.
That's right. His wife.
Also, you have the earring, Nick.
Yes.
So I would put a ring on a rooster.
Right. There you go. That's right. And his wife, Queen Victoria, would hang laundry on it.
There you go.
Okay.
Oh, my God. The old Prince Albert in a
Yep.
can,
Yes.
so to speak.
Yes.
Only a few decades after the Revolutionary War, think about that,
Okay.
was the War of 1812.
What year was that?
Now, we all have heard about the War of 1812.
When
but
was that?
nobody real.
When
What was that?
When was the War of 1812?
Actually, that's the funny part, too. They call it the War of 1812, but it actually was 1812, 13, and right into January of 1814.
Oh.
So it should be the War of 1812 to 1814, but they weren't that. They wanted to be descriptive, I guess, of the start. So it was the War of 1812.
Okay.
Most people don't even know who was involved in the War of 1812, why it happened. It's one of those forgotten wars. There are 2 wars in American history that are not really taught in school, and that is the Korean War, which they call the Forgotten War, and also the War of 1812, which I feel is even more forgotten, because at least the Korean War, we know where it happened.
Right.
But the War of 1812 is interesting because it was between the United States and England,
Right.
and it was fought only a few decades after the Revolutionary War. So I guess the English figured they'd give it another crack to try to get back at us. But then most people don't know this, and you're a Canadian. That is when the United States attacked Canada, trying to take over parts of Canada, not to attack Canada, but to take those provinces away from England, which was a source of money for them for trade and so on and so forth. So they wanted to affect England by attacking Canada and taking some of the land away.
Right.
Jefferson, who was president at the time, said attacking Canada should take like a couple of days. So that didn't happen. You guys fought back. The British secured Canada, and the war just kept going on for about 2 years. And finally, it was a stalemate. There was a treaty. But out of that war that everybody forgets came these amazing things, like the British got to Washington, D.C. and burned down the White House.
That's right.
During the War of 1812. But also, here's the most amazing one of all. The Star Spangled Banner was about the Battle of Fort McHenry during the War of 1812. Most people think it was the Revolutionary War. It wasn't. The Star Spangled Banner, the most important song for the United States, happened during the forgotten War of 1812.
That's one of the facts that that you happen to bring up. We every November 11th we honor those who have fallen, both the United States and Canada, and we play the two national anthems, and we also present some history, and that was part of that. So if you want to check out or any one of our previous episodes, you go to nickandroy.com, of course. In ancient Greece, they believed that redheads became vampires after death. This was partly because redheaded people are very pale-skinned and sensitive to sunlight, unlike the Mediterranean Greeks, who have an olive skin and dark features. So they actually believe that redheads became vampires after death.
Wow, crazy. See?
Yep.
After World War One,
do
you know what the Kellogg Brand Act was?
Cereal and every...
It's this guy's name, Brand. It's not brand, it's brand.
Okay.
The Kellogg Brand Act was signed in August 27, 1928. You remember it, Nick.
Sure.
60 other countries came to the United States to sign on to this bill or act. It was noted in the act that those 60 countries would not go to war against each other. They figured that this one act would stop any other world war from happening because World War One was so horrific. Noble try, but two of the signers, one of them was Germany and one of them was Japan. This is 1928. By 1930 some odd, they would be at war with the world.
Wow.
So much for the Kellogg Brand Act.
Yeah, and they gave out bowls of cereals as a prize. We've heard of Johnny Appleseed. Right?
I have, yes.
He was an American pioneer, of course, but he was a nurseryman who introduced apple trees to large parts of Pennsylvania, Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, and present-day Ontario, as well as the northern counties of present-day West Virginia. So Johnny Appleseed was actually a person because he basically planted apple trees. How do you like them apple trees?
Yeah, I like that. He liked his wife, too. He liked to stand cider.
That's right. That's right. He got to the core of the problem.
Cider.
You know what his wife's name was? Cora.
Cora.
Wow.
She was delicious.
She was. And you know who else was?
Especially when they went to the gala.
They did. They went to the gala and they took pictures with Granny.
Yeah, Granny Smith.
Of course, they used Fujifilm to take the picture.
Yeah. Okay, but anyway, Charles Dickens.
Yeah. What about him?
People are going to love this one. Charles Dickens became friends with Hans Christian Andersen. Of course, they're both writers of famous works. Hans Christian Andersen wrote Little Mermaid and some other amazing books.
The Ugly Duckling.
The Ugly Duckling, exactly. Charles Dickens, of course, one of my favorite authors, wrote Tale of Two Cities. He wrote The Great Expectations, one of my favorite books of all times. So, I mean, great writers. But Charles Dickens becomes friends with Hans Christian Andersen at some symposium that they went to. And of course, Dickens invites Hans Christian Andersen to his home in 1847. And he says to him, you come to England, you spend 2 weeks with me, and we'll have a great time. He says yes. He comes to England in 1847. He spends the 2 weeks and then decides to stay another 3. Announced to Charles Dickens, who thought he was leaving. He realizes that on the 3rd week, he's still there. On the 4th week, he's still there. On the 5th week, he's getting nervous.
Yes.
So he writes to some friends and says, who the hell is this lunatic? He's actually extended his stay. They will never speak to each other again after this encounter because Charles Dickens was so upset that he just kept staying.
You're still here?
And Hans Christian Andersen was an excessive compulsive, so he was very, very critical of self-criticism, if that's even a redundancy.
Sure.
But when Charles Dickens said to him, hey, you're here 5 weeks, he took it very seriously and got very offended, and they never spoke.
Wow. Because you're still here? You're still here?
You won't see the engineer that slams the Nissan Rogue's door 13,920 times, or the corrosive chamber that simulates 15 years of life in 5 months, or the Rogue heat-baked for over 300 combined hours. What you will see is a vehicle that can take punch after punch and keep rolling. Nissan, #1 in new vehicle quality among mainstream brands by J.D. Power. We put it through the worst, so you get its best. For J.D. Power 2025 U.S. Initial Quality Study Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Awards based on 2025 model year. Newer models may be shown.
I will take the large, is what I call this one. The World War II Army of the United States is the biggest army in history. Because of the surge of American patriotism and because of conscription, the United States Army numbered at 12 million soldiers by the end of the war in 1945. That's a big one.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it is.
That's amazing. How do you feed 12 million people? How do you clothe and feed and take care of 12 and transport 12 million people?
Really, really carefully. That's right. You're listening to Totally Useless.
Now stop thinking because it's this show.
That's right. You're listening to Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy.
Down the garden path with Nick and Roy.
She sounds like she's smoking something from the garden, you know?
No, it's Mother Nature.
Oh, I thought it was somebody that was smoking Mother Nature.
No. So down the garden path, I'm going to talk to you about a flower that's not a flower. Okay? The white or pink flowers of dogwood aren't really flowers at all. They're called bracts, B-R-A-C-T-S, which are modified leaves. The actual dogwood, the actual dogwood flower is the knobby green ball in the center.
Oh, crazy.
There you go.
So the flower that we think the petal is a leaf.
It's a leaf, but the actual dogwood flower is the knobby green ball right in the center. So if you want to win a bet or something, say, I bet you I know that the dogwood flower is not the petals. And they'll say, no, come on, you're out of your mind. And then you'll tell them. But I heard it on Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy.
This was my teaser. What is the most widely grown crop in the world? What do you think it is, Nick?
I want to say wheat.
Yeah, I thought that too. I would say definitely wheat or corn.
Okay,
right?
Yeah, corn, the other one, sure. Okay, wheat or corn, am I right?
No, you're wrong.
Oh. Okay.
They pale in comparison to what we were talking with Joey about, sugar cane.
Oh, sugar cane.
Everything is filled with sugar. And although corn syrup does take up some of the slack where they can't get enough sugar, sugarcane is the #1 grown crop around the world. In fact, 1.7 million tons of sugar are grown every year, sugarcane, in 17 countries around the world. More people. How many countries are we, Nick?
73 countries listening to Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy.
So we're sweeter than sugar.
Oh, yes, sirree. The other guess is I was going to guess cotton as well, but I'm sure that, cotton's up there, but sugarcane, wow. Yeah. One sniff is all it takes. Are
we talking about you eating broccoli again?
No, we're not. No. One sniff is all it takes. As much as we take pleasure from it, the fragrance of flowers has only one purpose, and one purpose only. It's to attract insects needed for pollination. Flowers pollinated by wind doesn't need to attract insects, therefore has no scent.
Ah, see? It's like the flower is like women putting makeup on to lure us into the trap.
The Venus flytrap, yes.
The smell of a flower is a fraud.
In your case, it's a Freud.
Yeah, I need all the help I can get, please. How do you feel about that, Nick? Okay. The biggest garden in the world. Now we talk about garden, right?
Yeah, of course.
The biggest garden in the world, the Dubai Miracle Garden, 72 square kilometers, 27 square miles to those of us in America. Mm-hmm. Over 60 million plants reside inside the garden, the Dubai Miracle Gardens. Wow.
That is amazing. Wow. You've heard the expression slow and steady wins the race?
No.
There's an expression, slow and steady wins the race.
I have, yes.
Well, it's the story of like the hare and the, sorry, I feel uncomfortable talking about hare, but the hare and the tortoise. Slow and steady wins the race. So in the plant kingdom, it's even more true.
Actually, that's pretty funny, Nick. I'm sorry I have to interrupt you, but you said you not wanting to talk about hair. Your head doesn't look like the hair. It does look kind of like the tortoise, though.
That's true. And
paint a few lines on it,
Exactly. And just as hard. Yeah. Slow and steady wins the race, even in the plant kingdom. Generally, the slower growing a tree is, the longer it lives. Fast-growing trees expend their energy on quick growth and reproduction. Don't we all at 20? While the slow-growing ones use their energy for structural support and to develop defenses against disease and insects. So, the slow-growing oak tree, for example, can live for centuries, where the quick-growing willow has an average lifespan of only 30 to 50 years.
It's so funny, too, because I said Nick's head most resembled a turtle, and Nick's wife said other parts of his body resembled a turtle, too.
Exactly.
Oh, my God. A poll was taken in Great Britain.
Did they bring it back?
Yeah.
Because you said a poll was taken.
In Great
I hope they brought it back.
They thought about taking it back, but they said, let's just take this poll.
Okay.
But anyway, a poll was taken in Great Britain, and they asked the people of Great Britain, what is your favorite flower?
Okay.
So 37%, that's a large number, almost 40% said rose is their favorite flower. Now that makes sense, but 29% said the sweet pea. Now, I had to go online to look it up because do you know what a sweet pea is?
Yes.
Yeah, it's that little flower. It's like kind of a multiple little flower. It's very nice, but I didn't even know what that was.
It was a dainty
14% iris. And I thought to myself, well, I like putting a vase of roses on my piano. How much land, Nick? This was a cool one. How much land do you think you need to feed one person for a year? If you were trying to grow off the grid and stay away from ever going to a supermarket?
1 acre.
Wow. For once, Nick actually got it.
Did I get it right?
Most people, yes, you did, which is shocking to the whole world.
It is. For sure.
Okay, the actual study that was done said you would need approximately a full acre in order to feed one person for an entire year, because of growth patterns, and I guess, I don't know, maybe they would keep an animal on it. I don't know, but they did come up with the study, said 1 acre. The study was done, people actually that they spoke to said they could probably feed somebody on a quarter to a half an acre, but the reality is 1 acre will feed a person. Now then there's me and Nick, we'd need 10 acres probably.
At least.
Unless we'd got maybe a half an acre and then a television we could watch Green Acres.
Right. Green Acres, the play. You're listening to Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy. We're in 73 countries around the world. All kinds of acres and acres of land around the world are listening to our show. Thank you very much. We truly do appreciate it. Also, coast to coast to coast in Canada, Toronto, Ontario, also in Quebec and Montreal, where Joey Roselli lives in Montreal. You can listen to us in Ottawa, all across on the iHeartRadio Talk Network. And you can go to our website, nickandroy.com, where you can send someone a birthday message. Now, we just did a birthday message recently for Bobby D, and this was his response. Now, Bob DeAngelis is a great clarinetist. He's a world-renowned person who plays the clarinet. Of course, he won not one but 2 Juno Awards, which is like similar to like a Grammy up here in Canada. And so he celebrated a birthday, and he wrote back and he said, "Thank you so much for a wonderful birthday message, and such an informative one too." And what it means by that is, what we do with these birthday messages is we provide totally useless information about the day that person was born.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now, the feedback is just insane. The amount that we're doing is insane. They're the greatest gift that you could get somebody. And I mean that fully. I mean, anybody that says they have everything, they will get this. They will send it to all their friends. They will talk about it. This thing is it's a show. We do a totally useless information show for the person about the date that they were born. It is so cool, so great. You're gonna love it. Where do they go, Nick, if they want to learn about the birthday message?
You go to our website, which is nickandroy.com, where you can also send us an email.
What's in the mailbag? What's in the mail?
Before I forget, if you go to our Instagram, so look up Nick and Roy on Instagram, you can actually leave us a voicemail message on there as well. So you click on it, you follow us, of course, and you can click us and leave us a message on.
Yeah, people are doing that too. That's becoming a big thing too.
My mailbag.
You know what's in the mailbag?
What's in
what's in the mailbag?
What's in the mailbag, Roy?
Sherry from Spokane. She
Oh.
was in the mailbag.
Hi.
Boy, was I shocked.
Not as shocked as she was.
I love this one. She says, I listened to your show by mistake. Well, I got news for you, Sherry. We make it by mistake.
You're not the only one.
I love that. That's what got my attention with this one. I listened to your show by mistake.
Okay.
And must say, I am now hooked.
Wow.
She says, I know this show is like crack, and Nick and I are crack dealers,
Yes,
because
right.
once you listen to it, you do get hooked. We get hooked on it. We love it. We have so much fun doing this show for you folks. I can't even tell you. She says she now plays a game in Spokane with her friends.
Yeah.
Where after the show, they listen to the shows. We have 200 some odd shows on nickandroy.com, but they listen to past shows and so on, and they try and stump each other.
Oh.
So they come over, they have a couple glasses of wine, and they talk about totally useless information. How cool, Nick. Look at what we've started.
Yeah, people with drinking problems, because they listen to our show, they have to have a couple of glasses of wine.
Well, you can't blame them, you know.
Well, thank you very much. That was Sherry. It's interesting how Sherry drinks wine when she listens to our show.
Sherry.
Sherry, yeah. Oh, okay. You just reminded me of something. So, one thing we forgot to mention during the birthday message was, you will get a copy of our monthly newsletter. You and also the birthday recipient will also get a free complimentary VIP newsletter. But in that newsletter, we should show them the music video that we did with our friend Sal. And we recreated the Steve Perry song "Oh Sherry."
He's talking about from 1980, folks. The newsletter is real cool too. I have to tell you, it's a really great newsletter.
Yeah, it's great. So you said Sherry reminded me of that.
You'll learn stuff about us that it's all cool stuff, and it's a little different than the show, but it's fun. The newsletter is cool.
Yeah, Michelle Thomas from Wilmington, Virginia says, she writes, "Dear Nick and Roy, we love listening to your show. You guys are a gas." Okay.
They know about your broccoli
They
incident.
do. Incident. It's the broccoli incident. That's an incident now, is it? You two must be good actors. Okay. I don't know how you keep I don't know how you keep a straight face with all of the comedy. Here's my question. I have a disagreement with my sister. What have we become, Dear Abby or something here? What's going on? I have a disagreement with my sister.
Let's hear this, Nick. Now you've caught my interest. Go ahead.
Her sister insists that Panama hats are made in Panama. But I told her no, they're not. Can you guys please settle this once and for all? Okay, so Michelle...
They're made in China, where everything's made.
No, actually, that's it. So Michelle Thomas from Wilmington, Virginia. Despite their name, Panama hats have never been made in Panama and originate in Ecuador, the only place in the world that has such a long-lasting weaving tradition.
Why did they call them Panama hats?
The construction workers whose strength was tested building the Panama Canal used Ecuadorian hats.
I should have never asked him this, folks, because I knew he'd come with it.
Okay, so their strength was tested building the Panama Canal using Ecuadorian hats as protection from the sun. Thus, they're called Panama hats, not made in Panama. So guess what, Michelle? You win the argument. Congratulations.
Cool.
You won't see the engineer that slams the Nissan Rogue's door 13,920 times, or the corrosive chamber that simulates 15 years of life in 5 months, or the Rogue heat-baked for over 300 combined hours. What you will see is a vehicle that can take punch after punch and keep rolling. Nissan, #1 in new vehicle quality among mainstream brands by J.D. Power. We put it through the worst, so you get its best. For J.D. Power 2025 U.S. Initial Quality Study Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Awards based on 2025 model year. Newer models may be shown.
Today on the show, we talked to Joey Roselli, our food guy, talked about food, we talked about history. It's time for the news.
And now, from around the corner and around the world, this is TUI News.
A mom in Central Florida has been banned from dropping off her kids at a private Christian school because of an advertisement for her OnlyFans account on her vehicle. Michelle Klein says the school
What does she do for these fans, Nick?
Well, I'll explain, because OnlyFans is one of those websites where, anyway, they get a little risque. But Michelle Klein says the
Me
school...
and Nick are on that. So what did she do, this woman?
So this is what the school, this Christian school is forcing her to walk across the street, which forces her kids to cross a busy road, go down a sidewalk, and walk through the parking lot to go to school. This is, unless she takes the ad for her adult content off her car. So she goes by the name Piper Fawn to promote her
Piper Fawn?
Piper Fawn, Fawn, to promote her adult content. She has a large decal that stretches across her vehicle's back windshield to promote her OnlyFans account. She says...
What does it say? I'd like to Piper?
I don't know. But she says her adult content is her business and her way of life. She says,
well,
quote...
Technically it is, right? It had nothing to do with the kids.
My husband and I had this, little wild, behind closed doors lifestyle, and we've now decided to share. But
they're making it public, Nick.
Well, but other parents at Liberty Christian Prep School don't want their children seeing any advertisements of that kind of content.
But is the content on the car graphic?
Let's see. So this parent said the decal is distracting because of its large size. After several parents because size, like I said, she had a large decal.
She put it on the trunk as well, so people say baby got back.
Right, she did. The school told Klein that she has to drop her kids off across the street. Other parents say there's an easy solution to the problem. She should just take the decal off the car. And the one
how's she going to make money then?
I don't know, but it supports. She says it supports my family. It provides a very comfortable way of life for us, and it's legal. I pay taxes like everyone else. I'm not breaking the law. I just offended people. That's not breaking the law. So she says she wants.
And what is the site called, Nick?
I don't know.
No, not her site. The place that she's on, the platform.
OnlyFans.
OnlyFans. So, folks, go to Nick and Roy on OnlyFans.
That's right.
We'll be setting up that website right now. If Fawn's making money, I'm going to make a fortune.
Yeah. So she says
and then you see pictures of us later on. We're both blind with blood coming out of our eyes.
Maybe.
I want to see Fawn.
She just wants the school, at the very least, to provide someone to help her kids get across the street safely. So she's even willing to not cross the street with them. She just wants her kids to get to school safe. That's all the time we have for this episode of Totally Useless Information. With Nick and Roy, thank you for joining us. We will scour the internet to find out more totally useless information just for you.
Listen, guys, thank you so much for listening. We hope we made your day, and we'll be back again next week. Go to nickandroy.com. You'll be glad you did.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Roy.
Thanks for listening.
Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy was brought to you in part by Tom's Place. For the finest in men's fashion, Tom's Place will suit you. Located in Toronto at 190 Baldwin Street in the heart of Kensington Market. Or visit toms-place.com.